What if the very foundation of your moral character, the kindness and compassion instilled in you since your earliest memories, has been systematically undermining your potential, corroding your boundaries, and silently sabotaging your happiness? What if the relentless pursuit of being perceived as a good person has become the single greatest obstacle standing between you and the strength, self-respect, and genuine fulfillment you were meant to possess? We have been sold a dangerous and incomplete narrative, one that equates perpetual niceness with virtue and self-sacrifice with nobility, creating a generation of pleasant, agreeable people who are secretly exhausted, resentful, and powerless. Today, we will embark on a profound and uncomfortable exploration of 10 powerful reasons why this blind, unconditional kindness, devoid of wisdom and self-preservation, might very well be your most formidable enemy in the modern world. This is not an attack on compassion, but a necessary dissection of its toxic counterfeit. And guiding us through this philosophical journey is a figure of immense historical and intellectual gravity, a man who bore the crushing weight of the Roman Empire, who faced barbarian invasions, political treachery, and personal tragedy, yet whose private writings, known as meditations, have become a timeless manual on strength, duty, and inner peace. His name is Marcus Aurelius, and his Stoic philosophy provides the razor-sharp lens through which we will cut through the illusions of destructive kindness and uncover a path to a more powerful, authentic, and effective virtue. We have been conditioned to believe that kindness is an unalloyed good, a simple and unambiguous positive. But what if this simplistic view is not just naive, but actively harmful? What if the endless appeasement, the inability to say no, the prioritization of others' comfort over our own growth, is a recipe for a life of quiet desperation? Marcus Aurelius ruled in an era of constant warfare and hard decisions. His philosophy was not developed in the safety of a classroom, but in the brutal arena of life and death. He understood that true strength is not the absence of kindness, but the wisdom to know when kindness serves a higher purpose and when it becomes a weapon of self-destruction. By examining these 10 reasons through his Stoic framework, we will not learn to become cruel, but to become discerning. We will learn to build a kindness that is powerful, intentional, and sustainable, a kindness that springs from strength, not from weakness, and that can truly change the world without destroying you in the process. Reason 1. Kindness without boundaries attracts predators. Marcus Aurelius provided us with a crucial strategic principle when he wrote, "When you first set your mind on a course, determine what sort of people they are and what they're pursuing." This is not merely philosophical advice. It's a survival mechanism in the modern social landscape. When you practice kindness without the crucial component of discernment, when you extend compassion without establishing clear and firm boundaries, you effectively transform yourself into a living beacon that broadcasts your availability to those who are constantly scanning for someone to use. Your unconditional openness becomes a signal that you are willing to bear burdens that others rightfully should carry themselves. You inadvertently become a powerful magnet for emotional manipulators who will skillfully exploit your good nature, for psychological energy vampires who will drain your emotional resources without a second thought, and for fundamentally irresponsible people who will gladly, and without a hint of shame, dump the consequences of their poor choices and unresolved problems directly into your lap. This dynamic creates a vicious cycle where the more you give, the more they take, until you find yourself emptied, used, and wondering how you became the designated caretaker for everyone else's chaos while your own life remains neglected and underdeveloped. Reason 2. You sacrifice your mission for others' goals. The Roman emperor constantly reminded himself of a devastatingly simple yet profound question. Ask yourself at every moment, is there something important I'm neglecting right now? This self-inquiry strikes at the very heart of the martyrdom complex that often masquerades as virtue. When you make yourself perpetually available to solve everyone else's problems and advance everyone else's agendas, you engage in a subtle but catastrophic form of self-betrayal. You are systematically scattering the precious, finite energy, your focus, your creativity, your time, your emotional capacity, that you should be strategically investing in your own fundamental purpose and core mission. This is the great tragedy of the pathologically kind person. You become so busy building monuments to others' dreams that you fail to lay even the foundation for your own. Your personal ambitions, your unique talents, your deepest callings, they all wither and starve, not from active opposition, but from simple neglect. You become a supporting character in everyone else's story while the narrative of your own life remains unwritten, your potential slowly suffocating under the weight of obligations you were never meant to carry. The dreams that once burned brightly within you die a quiet death, not with a bang, but with the endless whisper of maybe tomorrow, as you continue to devote your todays to constructing a future that belongs to someone else. Reason 3. You forget how to say no. Marcus Aurelius offered profound guidance when he advised, "Let your soul not attach itself to what's not in your power." This wisdom strikes directly at the heart of our inability to establish boundaries. When you consistently indulge everyone's requests, demands, and expectations, you commit a subtle but devastating form of self-abandonment. You voluntarily relinquish control over what constitutes your most precious and non-renewable resources: your time, your attention, and your mental focus. This systematic surrender transforms your life from a proactively directed journey into a perpetually reactive existence. You become like a leaf blown by the winds of others' priorities, constantly responding to external stimuli rather than following your own internal compass. The word no ceases to be in your vocabulary not because you're inherently generous, but because you've developed a pathological fear of disappointment, conflict, or being perceived as selfish. This inability to decline requests creates a dangerous pattern where your schedule, your energy, and ultimately your life's direction are determined not by your values and goals, but by the accumulated demands of those around you. You wake up each day not asking, "What do I need to accomplish?" but "Who needs me today?" This reactive stance ensures you're always busy but rarely productive, always helping but never progressing, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you've become a supporting character in everyone else's story while your own narrative remains unwritten. Reason 4. People stop respecting you. Marcus Aurelius identified that justice is the greatest of virtues, understanding that genuine respect is earned through balanced judgment and moral courage, not through endless compliance and appeasement. When you consistently prioritize being liked over being respected, when you avoid necessary conflicts and difficult conversations, you inadvertently communicate to others that your principles are negotiable and your boundaries are permeable. People may initially appreciate your accommodating nature, but this appreciation gradually morphs into subtle contempt. They begin to subconsciously question why you don't value yourself enough to stand up for your own needs and convictions. This lack of self-respect becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The less you respect your own time, energy, and values, the less others will respect them too. What begins as appreciation for your helpfulness transforms into expectation, then entitlement, and finally exploitation. Colleagues, friends, and even family members learn that you'll always yield, always accommodate, always put yourself last. The paradoxical truth is that by trying so hard to be liked through constant agreement and accommodation, you ultimately undermine the very foundation of genuine respect. People may enjoy the benefits of your compliance, but they cannot truly admire someone who appears to have no core, no non-negotiable values, no line in the sand. The person who cannot say no to others is essentially saying no to their own self-worth, and the world inevitably takes note and adjusts its treatment accordingly. Reason 5. You accumulate hidden resentment. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Yet when we consistently suppress our own legitimate needs and desires in the name of kindness, we engage in a form of self-betrayal that breeds a particularly insidious poison. This is not the clean, honest anger that arises in response to clear injustice, but something far more corrosive, a silent, accumulating resentment that seeps into the foundation of our being. Each time we say yes when our soul screams no, each time we prioritize another's comfort over our own essential needs, we deposit another layer of this toxic sediment in our psychological system. This unexpressed resentment doesn't simply vanish. It manifests as passive-aggressive behavior, unexplained emotional withdrawal, chronic physical tension, and eventually, serious health consequences. The people we've helped often remain completely unaware of the price we've paid, while we privately nurture a growing ledger of unacknowledged sacrifices. This quiet anger becomes a constant, low-frequency hum in the background of our consciousness, coloring our perceptions and poisoning our relationships from within. The greatest tragedy is that the person who suffers most from this accumulated resentment is ourselves. We become prisoners of emotions we dare not express, living in a self-created prison of niceness, while our authentic self slowly suffocates beneath the weight of unspoken truths and unmet needs. Reason 6. You hinder others' growth. In one of his most profound insights, Marcus Aurelius noted that the obstacle becomes the path, recognizing that challenges and difficulties are not interruptions to our journey, but essential components of it. When we consistently rush to solve problems for others, when we shield them from the necessary consequences of their actions, we commit a subtle form of theft. We steal from them the invaluable opportunity to develop resilience, resourcefulness, and character. What we often mislabel as kindness toward our children, partners, friends, or colleagues is frequently enabling behavior that keeps them in a state of learned helplessness. By constantly removing obstacles from their path, we prevent them from discovering their own capacity to overcome them. We create dependency where there should be developing autonomy, and weakness where there should be growing strength. The parent who always rescues their child from every difficulty raises an adult unprepared for life's inevitable challenges. The manager who constantly fixes their team's problems cultivates employees who never learn to think for themselves. The friend who always bails out their financially irresponsible companion perpetuates destructive patterns. True compassion sometimes means stepping back and allowing others to face their struggles, to experience temporary discomfort, and to discover their own inner resources. The most loving action may be to offer guidance and support while refusing to deprive them of the growth that comes from navigating their own path through difficulty. Reason 7. You lose connection with yourself. Marcus Aurelius directed us toward the most important relationship we will ever have when he counseled, "Look within, for within is the fountain of good." Yet when we become addicted to pleasing others and making ourselves indispensable to their happiness, we commit a gradual but devastating form of self-abandonment. Each time we suppress our authentic preferences to accommodate someone else's, each time we silence our inner voice to maintain external harmony, we drift further from our essential nature. The constant outward focus required to monitor others' reactions and expectations creates a static that eventually drowns out our own desires, values, and intuition. We become so skilled at reading rooms that we forget how to read our own souls. The person who once had distinct tastes, clear boundaries, and passionate interests slowly fades, replaced by a social chameleon that reflects whatever those around it want to see. This self-estrangement manifests as a persistent sense of emptiness, a feeling of being adrift without an anchor, and the terrifying realization that when asked what we genuinely want, we draw a blank. We become experts on everyone else's needs while remaining strangers to our own. The ultimate tragedy of this outward orientation is that we lose access to the very fountain of good Marcus Aurelius described, that inner wellspring of wisdom, purpose, and authentic joy that can only be found through honest self-acquaintance and regular inward attention. Reason 8. Kindness becomes your prison. Marcus Aurelius's observation that a man should be upright, not kept upright, reveals the subtle trap of identity-based virtue. When kindness ceases to be a conscious choice and becomes an obligatory identity, when you're not just performing kind acts but have become the nice person, you build an invisible prison around your authentic self. The image of the perpetually accommodating, endlessly patient, always available helper becomes a persona you cannot shed without facing social condemnation and internal guilt. This mask of goodness, initially worn by choice, gradually fuses to your skin until you can no longer distinguish where the performance ends and your true self begins. The expectations you've created in others, and more importantly, in yourself, become bars on a cage that keeps you from expressing the full spectrum of human emotion. You cannot show justified anger, cannot set firm boundaries, cannot prioritize your own needs without feeling you're betraying your fundamental character. This self-created prison becomes particularly suffocating when you realize that people have come to love the mask rather than the person wearing it. The terror of disappointing others, of shattering their perception of you as the good one, keeps you trapped in behaviors that drain your energy and compromise your integrity. What began as virtue has become a performance, and the stage you built for yourself has become a cell from which you don't know how to escape. Reason 9. You underestimate your worth. Marcus Aurelius touched upon a profound psychological truth when he noted that not to be ashamed of asking for help is worthy of praise. For in these words lies the mirror principle, understanding the true value of what we offer others. When you consistently provide your time, energy, and expertise without establishing appropriate value exchanges, you inadvertently train people to perceive your contributions as having little worth. This isn't merely about financial compensation. It's about the fundamental psychology of human perception. The lawyer who gives free legal advice to friends soon finds her counsel taken lightly. The therapist who constantly offers emotional support without boundaries sees her wisdom treated as casual conversation. The skilled professional who always says yes to extra work without acknowledgement gradually becomes the office doormat. This phenomenon operates on a deep psychological level. What comes without cost rarely receives genuine appreciation or respect. Your freely given kindness, without the balance of self-respect and appropriate boundaries, creates a dangerous perception that your time is infinite, your energy is bottomless, and your skills are commonplace. The tragic irony is that the more generously you give yourself away, the less people will value what they're receiving. You essentially devalue your own worth in the marketplace of human relationships, creating a vicious cycle where your diminishing self-worth leads to even more desperate attempts to prove your value through excessive giving, which in turn further erodes how others perceive you. Reason 10. You enable toxic relationships. When Marcus Aurelius advised to accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, he wasn't advocating passive endurance of harmful relationships, but rather recognizing reality with clear eyes. Your pattern of unconditional kindness and perpetual availability, though well-intentioned, often functions as enablers fuel for relationships that should have naturally concluded or never begun. By always being available, always forgiving without consequence, and always making excuses for others' poor behavior, you remove the natural feedback mechanisms that would otherwise help people recognize their toxic patterns. The friend who consistently takes without giving back continues their behavior because you've never allowed them to experience the natural consequence of losing your support. The romantic partner who disrespects your boundaries continues because there's never been a real price to pay. The family member who manipulates and guilt trips persists because it keeps working. Your kindness becomes the very thing that allows dysfunction to flourish, both in your life and in the lives of those you're trying to help. You become an unwitting accomplice in their moral stagnation, protecting them from the discomfort that might otherwise motivate genuine growth and change. Meanwhile, you remain trapped in relationships that drain your energy, undermine your self-worth, and prevent you from creating space for healthier connections. The most compassionate action is sometimes to stop enabling, to let people face the natural consequences of their behavior, even if it means they temporarily dislike you or remove themselves from your life. The solution: how to be kind without destroying yourself. Marcus Aurelius offers us the foundational principle for resolving this fundamental conflict when he advises, do what nature requires. Accept what nature sends you at your moment. This profound wisdom reveals that true kindness is not the weak, reflexive compliance we've been practicing, but rather a conscious, deliberate choice made from a position of strength and self-possession. It represents the highest form of wisdom, the discernment to know precisely when to extend a helping hand and when to step back and allow people to learn essential lessons through their own struggles. It's the strength to love deeply and compassionately without ever losing your core identity, your fundamental values, or your personal boundaries in the process. This enlightened approach to kindness understands that sometimes the most compassionate action is to allow others to face the natural consequences of their choices, while being fully present to support their growth rather than preventing their necessary falls. Your essential mission, therefore, is not to abandon kindness altogether, not to become cold, cynical, or self-centered in reaction to past experiences of being taken advantage of. Rather, your true task is to embark on the challenging but transformative journey of building such profound inner strength, such unshakable self-worth, and such clear personal boundaries that every act of kindness emerges as a conscious choice rather than a compulsive reaction. It's about developing the wisdom to distinguish between genuine need and mere dependency, between supporting growth and enabling weakness. When your kindness springs from overflow rather than emptiness, from choice rather than obligation, it becomes a powerful force that uplifts both giver and receiver without depleting either. This is the sacred balance where compassion and self-respect coexist, where generosity and boundaries reinforce one another, and where your kindness becomes an expression of your strength rather than evidence of your weakness. True kindness, in its highest and most authentic expression, should always be a manifestation of strength rather than weakness. It should be the generous outflow from a cup that is already full, not the desperate offering from an empty vessel, hoping to be refilled by others' approval. This requires practicing 3 essential disciplines with unwavering consistency. First, learn to help consciously. Pause before every act of assistance and ask yourself whether this help truly serves the other person's growth or simply makes you feel needed. Second, establish and maintain clear boundaries. Recognize that saying no to what drains you enables you to say yes to what truly matters with greater authenticity and power. Third, and most fundamentally, respect yourself enough to honor your own needs, your own time, and your own journey. Understand that self-care isn't selfish but essential, for you cannot pour from an empty vessel. Your transformative journey toward this balanced strength, toward this enlightened kindness that empowers rather than depletes, begins not tomorrow, not next week, but in this very moment, with the next choice you make about how you extend yourself to others. If this path toward empowered kindness resonates with you, if you're ready to transform your compassion from a source of depletion into a wellspring of strength, Here's how you can continue this journey with us. 1. Join our community of growth-oriented individuals by subscribing to the channel. Your subscription tells the YouTube algorithm that this content matters, helping us reach more people who are struggling with the same challenges of boundaries and self-worth. Together, we're building a movement toward wiser, more sustainable ways of practicing kindness and strength. 2. Click the notification bell so you never miss our weekly content. We dive deep into practical philosophy, psychological insights, and actionable strategies that help you build the life you want. One based on wisdom, strength, and authentic connection. From Stoic practices to modern psychology, we provide the tools you need for meaningful personal transformation. 3. Your journey to balanced living continues with every video. We explore everything from setting boundaries without guilt to developing unshakable self-respect, from managing relationships wisely to building lasting personal power. Each video builds upon the last, creating a comprehensive system for personal growth and effective living. True strength isn't about building walls. It's about knowing where to draw bridges and where to maintain boundaries. Subscribe now, and let's continue this important conversation together.